We're talking about cruising today, but we're not just talking about cruising. We're talking about a voyage on the sea. And we're talking about Cunard, one of my very, very favorite brands on the planet. Thank you for joining us, Alicia. And let's talk to the travel agents about how to sell this iconic brand.
Well, we're very distinctive in that we have a British feel about us. It's a very comfortable setting, as if you're in a British country house. But yet there's a sense of London and chic, and they're very modern ships. In fact, we have one of the youngest fleets in the cruise industry itself.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Even though these are, of course, ocean-going vessels that can cross the Atlantic, which is, of course, a trip that has a huge heritage built into it. Tell me about that.
It's 176 years young.
Yes.
And Cunard actually owns the only ocean liner in the world, the Queen Mary II. We do have the Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Victoria, and both those ships were built with a reinforced hull to be ocean cruiser-like. But the Queen Mary II is a true ocean cruise. She has a hull, and this is really what makes her different. She has a hull that is a V shape and enables her to go across the Atlantic, the North Atlantic, in whatever weather there might be, and get there safe and sound for our passengers. Your guess?
The best way that I can describe it to you, travel agent, is that it feels like when you were a little girl and you played dress up, but this time it's for real.
As far as we talk about being dressed up and everything, we hope that people would love to get dressed up a little bit and want to go out on the town, want to go to this lovely restaurant, one of the lovely restaurants, because we have so many choices on board depending on the accommodations that the client purchases. And then they go into their dining room, they have a lovely dinner, and then they might want to go to a Broadway type of show, or they want to go to a pub or to a lounge and have a drink afterwards. We've got lots going on, and dress up a little bit is a lot of fun. It's something that you look forward to and anticipate. And by dressing up a little bit, what we say to men is bring a suit or a jacket, and on black tie nights, add a tie. That's what we call dress up.
There you go. Let's talk about the grills. You're talking about the restaurants and the different accommodation types. Let's explain that to the travel agents.
Well, the grill suites are basically, that's what they are. They're the suites. And depending on the client who wishes to be in the most luxurious accommodations on board, they would go to the grills, the Queen's Grill or the Princess Grill suites. And then below that, on Queen Mary II, as well as on Queen Elizabeth, we have the Britannia Club. And these are staterooms in the balcony category, but they are the standard balconies. And then we have a dining room experience that's similar to the grills. It's single seating dining. You come when you wish. We have tableside cooking there as well. And we have some upgrades in the actual stateroom with bathrobes and special amenities. The passengers love it. In fact, it is so popular that we had to add more staterooms in the refit that we're doing, the remastering of the Queen Mary II coming up this May. It's a 25-day dry dock, and she will come out a brand new, sophisticated, even more luxurious than she's been.
Okay.
Colors will be changing. In fact, the colors I'm wearing, and you see in the background, will be the standard colors that we'll have in the staterooms.
Nice. Oh, how lovely.
Yes, there'll be beautiful reds and blacks and beiges that will really stand out. Your clients will notice it immediately. And we'll be changing several of the lounges on board. The Corinthia will now be one of the places on board where passengers can go and just sit and relax for breakfast, a light lunch, and even dinner drinks.
Great.
So it's going to be wonderful.
Jazz. Let's talk about jazz on board the Queens.
Jazz. Well, we've got the Insights program, which is our entertainment program. And with that, we had the Blue Notes Jazz program this past October. It was so successful that we've added 2 more in 2016. We have Gregory Porter as well as Herbie Hancock. So these 2 big names in jazz will be coming on board. And what's so fascinating about this is that we actually realize that people who love jazz, they don't even dress up a lot. So we're going to even permit to be more casual. We'll have jeans in some of the venues permitted. So it's going to be for anything goes. Anyone who loves jazz should be there.
Now, there may be a misunderstanding, I think, amongst agents that we're only talking about transatlantic crossings, which as far as I'm concerned is the best way to experience Cunard, but certainly there's a lot of other itineraries. What should they be looking at selling right now?
Oh, absolutely. We've got 7, 14, and 21-day med cruises. And they're
Okay.
on Queen Victoria, so you can string them along for up to 21 days without repeating a port.
Okay.
Very elegant, beautiful experiences. We're also, though, adding 9 maiden voyages during 2016. Hard to believe, but we have found maiden voyages that we haven't been to on the ship. And 2 of them will be in Canada.
Really?
We'll have Gaspé
Oh, nice.
as well as the Saguenay.
Pricing, it sounds expensive.
No, no. And the beauty of having this big ship luxury is that we can vary the prices from inside to ocean view to balconies as well as the grill suites. So you can have an array of pricing and have luxury on a grand scale. In fact, it's like in real estate. You can be in the worst house but on the best block and your house has value.
Okay. If agents are interested in selling, how do they get more information? Are there marketing materials? It's really important for them to be able to, of course, produce the clients and bring them into their tour.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think with Cunard Line, you definitely have to have the expertise and knowledge. And we have what's called the Cunard Academy on onesourcecruises.com. It is a portal that's reserved exclusively for travel agents. You have to have credentials to sign on. And it has all these different modulars, but one of them is the Cunard Academy. Take the courses. They run about 45 to 55 minutes each. It's a total of about 15 hours that you can bookmark at your own pace and really get the expertise and knowledge that will be shocking, not shocking, but surprising to your client. And they will be your best lead because they will be so impressed with what you know about Cunard Line, and you become a Commodore, and you deserve it. And what will happen is they'll go to cocktail parties and barbecues, and they'll say, my travel agent was able to book me on a Cunard crossing or sailing in Europe, that she knew everything, or he knew everything there was to be able to do that. So they will be your best salespeople for you once you sell.
Before I let you go, to talk about the most important selling point besides the dressing up and the teas and everything, and that is you can tell your clients that they can bring their 4-legged family members on board these ships.
Yes.
Let's talk about the kennels.
They are so popular that we're adding 10 more. So we'll have 22 kennels altogether. So what you have to do, you have to tell your clients they have to look for the space for their dog first, and then we'll be sure to find the stateroom for them. So, and that's simply because how popular they are.
Well, who wouldn't want to travel? And
we take cats.
Get a butler to walk your dog for you along the deck. It's ultimate luxury.
Oh, it is.
Thank you so much for coming in and telling us about it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Nina, to see you. And thank you so much for your support, and looking forward to saluting you when you become Commodores.
Perfect.